Welcome to Industry Champions. I'm your host, Chris Budihas. I got a phenomenal lineup here at the bar here today since Tommy Manis is not here yet. So I got Torri and Steve with Home Builders Institute. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Then I got Daniel. How you doing with BLKOPS? And then sir, how you doing? So I got Mike Fleming with the Veterans Cohen Network.
Cohen Veterans Network.
Cohen Veterans Network. Boy, that's a mouthful. Torri, tell me more about HVI.
Awesome. So HBI has been around for over 50 years.
Over 50 years.
We are the original Job Corps training program. Start off training our young youth, ages 16 to 24 in underserved areas.
Yeah.
And we've kind of expanded that program. We're still doing it, but we also have community corrections. We have juvenile programs. And we have military services, which is what I'm a part of.
Okay.
Train service members that are getting out of the military to help them with new skills. So that way, once they actually exit the military, they have some new skills and jobs that can help them transition on out.
Okay. So, Steve, what are those jobs? What are the things you're training them on over there?
Well, I teach them HVAC there.
HVAC.
We also teach electrical and carpentry at our location.
Okay.
What's fascinating, when I go out to do job fairs and trade fairs, we meet the industry leaders, the people that are hiring these veterans. And when I talk to them, I'm not selling my program. Oh, you know, we train that.
Yeah.
I talk about the veterans because the veterans work so hard. They know when to show up on time. They don't leave until the job's done. They're dedicated. They are so dedicated. And they come in there ready to learn, and they put their hands to it. And we put the work in their hands. We take them to actual job sites and get them working, and it's great.
What does that look like? Like in either one of you, like how many weeks is that? What's the cost? And then do you get a certification on the back end? Like literally you can walk with a piece of paper saying, I'm certified in HVAC, electrical, you name it.
Well, the formalities as far as approval, so their commands release them to us for 12 weeks.
Okay.
That way they're still able to get their check.
Yeah.
And they'll come train with us at one of our 10 programs across the U.S.
Okay.
They'll start the first 6 weeks with our core carpentry program, and then they'll move over to the electrical side where they'll learn residential wiring.
Yeah.
And while they're in our program, they're going to receive their OSHA 10 certification.
Oh.
They'll get their PAC Core certification, which is what we train on. It is a pre-apprenticeship training curriculum, so we encourage them to advance on it to a full apprenticeship.
Okay.
So that way they can continue to get their journeyman if they decide to do so. But either way, they're qualified to go ahead and go into the industry.
Okay.
And the program is tuition free. We do not take the
Tuition free?
GI
Oh
Bill.
my, stop it, girl.
We do not take a single penny, thanks to our friends.
How can
and
you
family.
do that? How's that? Where's that money coming from?
Oh, our great family and friends with the Home Depot Foundation.
That's wonderful.
They invest into our programs. So.
Okay. That's
I'll
great.
let Steve talk about the credentials they'll get on
Yeah,
the
please,
HVAC
Steve.
side.
Yeah.
So on the HVAC side, we have a 12-week course.
Yeah.
My class starts out, I like to call it kindergarten to college. I start out with tape measure, plumb, square, level. I teach the basics, and everything that I teach is from fundamental status, and then from each fundamental you can build on it. Everything that we have that's high tech now started at some point at fundamental. So we go into fundamentals, we get that core fundamental. So we teach them refrigerant safety, all the safety stuff. A lot of our other classes get OSHA 10. My guys get the EPA certification.
Yeah.
I teach a lot of gas safety because, believe it or not, the number one injury or death to HVAC techs is asphyxiation from gas. So I make sure we teach a lot of gas safety.
Okay.
But we also go into how to teach them how to braze and weld. We teach them how to braze with nitrogen flow, so we don't contaminate systems with carbon dioxide and oxidation in the pipe.
Yeah.
We go through all the levels of that. We go into electrical. We go into troubleshooting. We go into airflow. We go into duct building. I do all this in 12 weeks, and my guys are going out there and they're really dominating. They're making great money.
Yeah. They're
becoming the lead installer, the number one estimator for the bases. My guys are doing really well. So it's awesome to see them do it because I teach them, but they're the ones taking off. They're blooming, and it's great.
That's great. So how do folks find more about HBI?
Oh, sure. They can go to our website,
www.hbi.org.
Okay. /military.
Okay.
We'll be glad to help them. They can learn a little bit more about our programs because we have a program to fit every population.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are nationwide. It's funny. They're projecting Jacksonville's going to grow, Duval County, 500,000 plus in the next decade. So that's a lot of building, and it's a lot of renovation too. So having folks with your skill set to go out there and do the work, that's huge.
Are you guys already in the school system already, talking with CTE teachers with Duval?
We have a few partnerships with some of the local schools in the Duval area. I know there is one school that has trades, a vocational school. That
Because we just got our electrical wiring program just got reinitialized for next year, so that would be something. Because I teach juniors, I teach U.S. history at Westside High School, so I would love to have you guys come in and talk to my kids because
we'd be glad to come in.
That's wonderful.
And well, I mean, the thing is today everybody wants to push college on everybody. Well, college is not for everybody.
It's
It's
not.
not, and it's like they want to make it seem like it's taboo to say that. It's absolutely not.
It is not.
I advocate for the military. I bring my recruiters in constantly, and to show them that hey, there is another path because some of these kids can't afford college, and if they know there are other avenues and scholarships and things that are out there, this sounds. All I was thinking about while you guys felt like my kids need to hear this.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned that because I am big on encouraging children to know that they do have another avenue. Back in our day, it was college or the military, right?
Yep.
So we can all attest to the military.
Yeah.
So now we want them to know that trades are an option. So every summer we do Bring Your Child to Work Day. And our students of our service members, they get a chance to bring their children in.
Oh, that's
and we
cool.
also open it up to the public for them to bring their kids in. Next month, we'll be hosting a construction children's camp at our Fort Stewart Savannah program,
Oh, that's great.
Hinesville
I'll be
program.
there.
So again, we were big on bringing in the children, talking to them about these opportunities, kind of planting that seed in them so that way they
absolutely.
know there is an opportunity for me.
That's wonderful.
perfect.
Thanks for bringing that up. So let's talk about what you're doing with Black Ops. I mean, you're doing a lot more than just teaching. You're doing a lot of other work. So
Yeah, I sit on the board of directors for the Black Ops Veteran History Project and Foundation. We empower, elevate, and educate the histories and stories of the Special Operations community from World War II moving forward. One of the big things that we do is we conduct road shows around the United States, both for the general public and what we've done the last couple of years is actively here in Duval County, working in partnership with Duval County Public Schools, conducting road shows with the kids. This past year, we had a full day event where we had Phyllis Wilson from the Women's Veteran Memorial Foundation. She was down here with her Color of Freedom presentation. We had Danielle Green. She lost her lost her forearm in Iraq in 2003. Who is also another keynote speaker. She came in to speak to the kids as well. Then our Special Operations veterans would go around. We created 5 stations teaching the history of the Special Operations community, starting from World War II, moving through, and the kids got the history of that moving around all over. And then at the end, we had a live panel where it is the scariest thing in the world is to sit there and let kids come up and just speak their mind. No script, no nothing, and because you never know what you're going to get. You never know what questions you're going to get. Enrique Rick Prado was there with us, one of the former shadow warriors for the CIA.
Yeah.
He was in attendance with us as well, talking about his history. And the kids loved it. They were engaged. The only time their phones were out was that they were taking pictures with our veterans and our booths and everything else, and hearing the story and all of that. The secondary part of what our foundation does is we've for the past couple of years with United American Patriots and Bull Gerfine is advocating for Major James Capers Jr.'s Congressional Medal of Honor. Now, as of March 2026, President Trump did sign the Bill 3377, which allocated for the Major now to officially be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. So we don't know when the award date is going to happen.
Yeah.
We're hoping it's going to be sometime over the summer, but this has been the Major for his actions in Phu-Loc in 1967 in Vietnam, was wounded over 17 times, including a broken leg. Still managed to call it. He managed even to call an airstrike on his own position and allowed his Marines to get away. To be rescued and evac'd out. And it's just when you hear his story and you talk to the Major, it's just how is this guy still here? Some people might recognize him from the Marine Corps poster from the 1980s. We make Marines, first black Marine officer to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. So, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. And he's such a humble guy. It's absolutely amazing to sit there and talk to him. And I've been able to speak on the Major's behalf for the past 2 years, advocating for this. I wrote an article with We Are the Mighty called The Iron Major, advocating and detailing all the Major's history out and the story and how it led to this. So we're really ecstatic that we were able to pull this off. And our Black Ops team, that has been just absolutely phenomenal with Robert Zachary, Ruben Ayala, and the whole team, just pushing this forward in every step of the way. We, advocating for the Major's Medal of Honor, which is, we're just thrilled that now that it's going to happen.
That's amazing. Thanks for what you do. I mean, my mother was a teacher. It's not, you don't do it for the money, obviously. You do it for the passion. And,
absolutely.
And so from me to you, it matters a lot. And people ask me like, hey, you got kind of a worldly view. How did you get it? I said, read, specifically history, and then travel. That's how you get to know people.
Yeah,
So
culture.
I love military history. I tell my students all the time when they're kind of upset and they're having a bad day, I'm like, hold on, let's back up. Let's go see what a bad day looks like, and I show them some war history. And like, that was a bad day. You're
really
right.
bad day.
And they're like, you're right, coach. I'm like, okay.
Perspective's
go.
a powerful thing. It
is.
really is, I mean, absolutely. A lot of these kids, they come in. I remember a couple of years ago, we one of the last Rosie the Riveter's May Crier, I had her come in, and the students started talking to her, and the number one question she kept getting asked was, how'd you deal with the anxiety of Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
And her response was just great. It happened. We just did our duty, and it's just like, and it was, and the kids were all just shocked. It's like, but it's going to war. Doesn't matter. We got up and we did what we had to do. And she was 17 years old, and that was probably the best conversation those kids had.
That's awesome.
And I got that on video, and I put that out, and it was amazing. And she's
great.
a great lady.
That's great. No, thank you. Well, sir, you do a lot of things, but you're here to talk about the Cohen Veterans Network. So tell us more.
Yeah, Cohen Veterans
great.
Network was founded by Stephen Cohen. He's a hedge fund philanthropist. His son had been in the Marine Corps.
Yes,
He wanted to do something to honor his son's service. Mr. Cohen owns the New York Mets, so that's probably where more people know about him. But he decided, his son told him that we need to do more for veterans. So in 2016, Mr. Cohen started off with almost a $300 million commitment to create a series of clinics across the United States. He hired Dr. Anthony Hassan, our CEO, who's been our only CEO, fortunately.
Yes, sir.
And we've grown. And so we now have 23 clinics across the United States that provide outpatient mental health care for active duty members.
Yes, sir.
National Guard and Reserve, currently serving National Guard and Reserve, post 9/11 veterans, and all military families. And so, one of the challenges, I was in the military 35 years. I was enlisted an officer in the Marine Corps and then transferred to the Army. So, mental health was never a big focus.
Oh, no, sir.
And I look back regrettably by, mental health was not in my toolkit as a leader.
Yes,
and
sir.
so I take corrective action, but I never ask that one question, what's going on? How's your marriage? How's your family? Those types of things.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully the military today is doing a better job of that, but we really address a lot of things where we have clinical care.
Yes, sir.
We have case managers each one of our clinics, and we have one here in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
We have another one in Tampa, and very interesting. We have it literally across the United States at near most military installations. We just opened one about 2 months ago in
Kansas, right?
Manhattan.
Yeah.
Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
They call themselves the Little Apple, which is great. It's right outside of Fort Riley,
Yes,
and we got one in Hawaii. We got two in Alaska. And very interesting, this fall we're going to be opening up clinics on U.S. military bases in South Korea and Japan.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All of
Very cool.
our
Nice.
ones we have here in the United States are off base because obviously veterans need to be able to get care and not have to go on the base. But really, we're specifically targeting military families over there.
Yes, sir.
And it was interesting. When we started looking at this, I just Googled and said, what are the U.S. military bases in South Korea and Japan? And they're probably between 40 and 50. Now, some of them are very
Right.
small. We have very
Yeah.
big ones.
Yes, sir.
And so we're starting, we hope to have a total of 5. So it's tremendous. I'm much more of a mental health care advocate for
Yes,
the
sir.
military after I retired in 2010. So, but it's, just like what you talked about with, serving the military with employments, education and things. I feel like, I get the opportunity to continue to serve because I get to advocate for mental health for
Right.
not just the veterans or the active duty members, but most importantly also their families too.
Yes, sir. Because sometimes they get forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And ironically, when I was at Fort Benning as the chief of staff, our behavioral health specialists on the base are so busy with the active duty folks, the families get,
Correct.
they get farmed out. And the civilian population in Columbus, the providers are so busy, it was just very difficult to get people, unless you're in crisis, to see somebody. And when you have mental health issues, you need to see somebody,
If I can add to that,
Yes,
what
sir.
happened in, I think it was 2019, the Department of Defense cut about 15,000 military medical personnel, uniformed personnel, with the theory, just like you talked about, Chris, was that concentrate on the currently serving members of the military, which obviously should be the priority. But then for families and retirees like you and me,
Yes, sir.
that you would go off post or out in the civilian community. And so we've been fortunate. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary this year.
Wow.
And we've seen over 100,000 clients. And this year we'll have a million hours of care, of
Oh,
clinical
wow.
care.
That's
So
wonderful, yeah.
and so we're always looking for people to learn about it, because I think we always, it's fantastic what you're doing to connect,
sir.
because there are veterans who need employment, there are veterans and kids who need education, and there's certainly veterans and military families that need mental health care. So how do you make that connection from the need to the resource? And what you're doing here is great to
Yes, sir.
help that.
Sir, thank you for that. This is kind of like being at Baskin Robbins. We got 31 flavors, but it's all in the same food group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know our producer's going to pull us off in a second here, but I did want to kind of end on a speed round. So if you were mayor for the day, no restrictions, budgetary or policy-wise, what would be the one thing with Jacksonville you'd like to see happen?
I would say budget.
Budget?
Because I think that budget
Need
is
more money?
Yes.
Okay.
That I think that's
To do what
always
with?
gonna- to bring more awareness.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with the Stephen Cohen Foundation. Very familiar with that. But in order to continue to build, to grow, to get these veterans off the streets,
Yeah,
more sustainable housing, we
Yeah.
need more money for
that's
that.
great. Yeah. And what about you, Steve?
I 100% believe in the future.
Yeah.
So I really want the children to get basic trades training, like basic.
Okay.
Let's build some birdhouses. Let's do some things. Let's get these.
When I was
kids
growing up,
involved.
shop was mandatory.
It was
yeah.
awesome. They did away with that,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so if I could get anything going on, I would like to see a lot more in school trade programs. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be something too hard, just something that they can get confidence from. They can learn that I can make a change. I don't have to drive this broken thing. I don't have to. The cabinet can be fixed. I can fix it.
Right.
That gives you a lot of self-esteem. It gives you a lot of assurance.
After taking my vehicle to the mechanic yesterday, that automotive, I'm gonna go back and dig into my books. So
Yeah.
so Daniel, what about you?
After teaching 23 years and all that, and secondary and high schools, community centers.
Community centers, yeah.
And our foundation now we have a book out called Follow Me that advocates for like a 9-week youth kind of mentorship program.
Okay.
But having other organizations like community, I grew up and we had the Morris Memorial. It was our community center in Chatham, New York. It was rural farm, but we had it there. All the kids went there after
Yeah.
school, and I think that there's a lack of place for these kids to go.
Yeah.
And I think if there's a structured place for them to go and do things,
I like that.
and it's staffed, I think having a like you talk about budget, like I would love to see organizations funded by the city, like in different areas. Like
Yes.
here's the north side, community center staffed, and just
Right.
something for a place for kids to go and have busing go there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see that someplace safe that I could send my kid to.
Yeah.
That's
So-
great.
Great.
Thank you for
We're
that.
spending the money either way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So
exactly.
why not spend it in the positive direction? Sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely.
Sir, about you?
Interestingly enough, a lot like what you just talked about, I know for years we've talked about having kind of a veterans center, and we would have nonprofits. Veteran nonprofits would be part of that. Kind of like the downtown, the DuPont Center has a lot of nonprofits. Harrison Conyers, I know, leads
yeah.
the City of Jacksonville Military Department. Gentleman by the name of Steve Spiegelmeyer, who unfortunately Air Force veteran we lost during COVID, had really made that something we wanted to do, because
Yes, sir.
just like you talked about, it's kind of a combination gathering place, but also if you can kind of surround the veterans with a sea of goodwill and a lot of options. I can get coffee here, but then I can also go get maybe some mental health care, or
Yeah.
I can get job employment and things like that. Kind of a one-stop shop for that.
Yes, sir.
I know City of Jacksonville's talking about that, but that would be a wonderful thing to have. And then, because like we talked about before, we have a lot of great veteran nonprofits who do things. 3 of them here today.
Yeah.
But how do we get that connection? And then how do we get a veteran to take that first brave step to say, I need some help
Yep.
in this particular area? And unfortunately, all of us are proud. Veterans sometimes are even more proud, won't admit they have a challenge. Maybe we had some kind of center that could have them go in there to get a cup of coffee.
That'd be
Yeah,
wonderful.
maybe I'll look at this. So
Yeah.
that would be a hope I have for the future.
Just
That's
getting them through the door.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes,
get
sir.
'em, take a step, and then they'll be helped.
Well,
Yes.
what we're going to do is take all the contact information for yourselves and for your organizations. We'll put in our show notes. Highly encourage folks to reach out if you got questions or got
great.
comments. And then
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys coming in. The irony of history, education, and then mental health, care, if you will, is it's not lost on me in the fact that we're lifting up all of our veterans. I mean, so 1 in 4 in Jacksonville are either active duty, guard, reserve, a veteran themselves, but I know the other 75% of our population is extremely patriotic, and I love our veteran community and what we're doing here. So
Jacksonville for that.
thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate you coming in here on Industry Champions, though we probably could have called it the 5-minute salute if we wanted to. So what I'll do is I'm going to outro us out. So, hey, folks, Thanks for connecting with us here today on Industry Champions. Take a look at it. All these great organizations, these amazing humans came in here today to tell the story of what they're doing and how they're doing. We'll see you at our next segment and live with gratitude.